Welcome to the Daily Show. I am your host, Jon Stewart. You know what? Come here. Come here. Welcome to the resistance. I promise you. Actually, being facetious, but okay. I promise you for the remainder of the next 4 years, I will only speak to you in this tone of voice. This close to the camera. I will be relentless. Or, well, they will. I'm here Mondays. Really not even that many. There's dark weeks and holidays and vacation. The point is this. You can count on me for, it's really about 15 hours of resistance total. All right, go back out to the thing. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We got a good one for you tonight. Later, I'll be talking with, after we do the show this evening. Oh, look at that tie. I'm going to be talking with Thomas J. Brennan. He's the founder of Warhorse, a nonprofit military reporting organization. They do fabulous work. You know, a gentleman in the audience asked me a little bit earlier. He said, hey, last week, what happened? Now, he may have meant it rhetorically. But if you remember, the last time that we spoke, it was midnight on election night. And it seemed even at that moment very clear Donald Trump had won the election in a bit of a thumpening. Now, part of the disorientation of the Democrats losing the electoral vote and the popular vote and losing ground in the cities and the areas around the cities and the areas around those areas, I guess you'd call it America, was that we had all been told by many of our best prognosticators it was going to be close. We ran the results in the computer 100,000 times. She won 50,001. He won 40,099, 99. But in this coin flip country, I was confident because the Democrats had a secret weapon in a close election, perhaps the most important weapon.
Since joining the race, the vice president has raised an eye-boggling $1 billion.
Call me eyes-boggled. See, the Democrats in a 50-50 election had $1 billion. A war chest to be spent on data analytics and polling and consultants and very clearly texting. There was a lot of texting. A lot of that money went to, how the did they just text me, I'm in the tub. I don't even have my phone. It just came through the water. And while, of course, maybe just giving away $1 million of it every day would have been the smarter, more efficient plan, no! The $1 billion went towards the one thing Republicans didn't have, couldn't have, that would put the Democrats over the top.
And the Harris campaign has a massive ground game, 50,000 volunteers.
With volunteers knocking on 5 million doors in Pennsylvania alone.
This is the first time some Democrats have told me they've ever heard of people knocking on the same doors a second time or a third time.
You know, if there's one thing people love, more than someone appearing randomly at their door once, it's that same person coming back 2 or 3 times to talk politics. Even though everyone from vacuum salesmen to Jehovah's Witnesses know that's a losing strategy. In fact, they've known that for decades. Let's just spend $250 million on it. You know what Democrats should do? Whatever money is left over, send those same people back to those voters' doors and just knock again during dinner. And when the homeowner comes to the door, go, what the Scott. I thought we connected. But the reason why, and I give them some shit for their strategies, but there was a method to the Democrats' madness.
Democracy and freedom are on the ballot.
Our democracy is on the line.
We have to protect democracy.
We have to work even harder to make sure that we defend our democracy.
We don't get to choose when we're asked to defend democracy. We just have to do it. And this is not a drill.
Noble words. And I'm glad to say Democrats did protect democracy. Just for the other side. Because when all is said and done, we had a free and fair election in which the Democrats had been prepared for almost every scenario but one.
The Harris campaign has built probably the most sophisticated, robust, impressive voter protection program in the history of presidential politics.
We have millions in the bank ready with lawyers all over the country that are ready.
Democrats have been planning on every one of these options for 4 years. Are Democrats ready? You bet they are.
We have county clerks ready to go, secretaries of state ready to go.
So it's all lined up. What are we forgetting, people? What? We got the lawyers, we got the protecting the... What do we got? We got... Jimmy, did you bring the voters? Oh, I thought you were bringing the voters. I brought the hate has no home here posters. Nobody brought the voters? Where are the voters? It turns out the election was stolen by more people voting for Donald Trump. It's quite a caper. Ocean's 74 million. But, yeah. So now, as many on the left fear the future, as they should, many others rue the past.
Joe Biden should have dropped out earlier.
There should have been an open primary.
People never got to know Kamala Harris.
They spent too little time talking about the economy.
Wildly overestimated the power of the abortion issue.
Chose the wrong VP.
Managed to alienate historic numbers of Latinos.
Abandoned the working class.
Democrats need a new way to talk about urban America.
Do that Joe Rogan podcast.
Trump spoke to the people. Democrats never once mentioned Arnold Palmer's never once. Yet focus group after focus group said, got anything on Arnold Palmer's? If not, can you at least stand there and sway to Ave Maria for like an hour? Can you at least do that? But it's a delight to hear about why it happened from so many people who were so wrong about what was going to happen. And everyone has their own pet theory. But there's one theory that a lot of people seem to be coalescing around.
They were too woke, insisting that people use the term Latinx.
Too far to the left on transgender rights.
You have to say they. No, you have to do this.
Stop with the virtue signaling.
Step away from woke. Focus less on who is woke and more on who is broke.
Social justice issues take a back seat when your son is in the basement vaping and playing video games and can't find a job.
I feel like that last guy was really venting more about his son. Everybody else had sort of a broader point, but his was just so specific. You really got to focus on, let's say, a kid in your basement vaping and just jerking off all over the couch, night after night. But point taken. Everyone's talking about this wokeness theory, from cable news to the op-ed section. And sometimes the op-ed section being read on cable news.
We want to get to the Morin Dow piece. Morin Dow's piece for the New York Times entitled Democrats and the Case of Mistaken Identity Politics.
Ooh! That was Morning Joe host Mika Brzezinski discussing a New York Times column by Morin Dow on how to escape the liberal bubble. I guess I'll just have to get the Times and read it myself, unless there's another way to make this less entertaining.
We're going to read the entire piece, but it's worth it.
About wokeness? I couldn't even stay woke through that whole thing. Why don't you read us the Wordle? I only have one problem with the woke theory. I just didn't recall seeing any Democrats running on woke shit. These were the commercials I saw for the Democrats.
Sherrod Brown is working to fix our border crisis.
Mondaire Jones is working to secure our border.
Pat Ryan is restoring order at our southern border.
I'm Laura Gillan, and I'm here at the border of Nassau County. We're 2,000 miles from Mexico, but we're feeling the migrant crisis almost every day.
In Nassau County, by the way, Suffolk County, make my day. You want a piece of our strip malls? You're going to have to go through Laura Gillan. Those are the Democrats. The Democrats. I gave the police more money than they even wanted. I gave them planes and tanks. I built a moat around the country and filled it with alligators and chlamydia. They didn't talk about pronouns. They didn't say Latin X. It was the opposite.
We can't let China steal Wisconsin jobs.
Benefits for illegal immigrants? No way. Blocking support for white farmers? I mean, look at me.
Standing with law enforcement against defunding the police.
I've owned a gun my whole life.
Let me be clear. I don't want boys playing girls' sports.
You all know me. I've never pushed for sex changes.
Well, that's just a weird one at the end there. Come on, guys, you know me. He's like George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life. I'm not the guy who pushes sex. I'm in your shops every day. Mary, it's me, George Bailey. I'm not trying to get you to get a sex change. I'm just wishing I was dead. And don't forget about Kamala Harris. It's not like she was exactly waving around her NPR tote bag.
I have a Glock.
They didn't do the woke thing. They tried. They acted like Republicans for the last 4 months. They wore camo hats and went to Cheney family reunions. Do you know how dangerous it is to wear a hunting hat around Cheney's? You have any idea? Thought I had one more rip in me. I didn't. Democrats were mostly running against an identity that was defined for them based on a couple of months of post-George Floyd defund the police Me Too Instagram posts from 4 years ago. What happened was the country felt like government wasn't working for them. And the Democrats in particular were taking their hard-earned money and giving it to people who didn't deserve it as much as them. And so the Democrats got shellacked. I'm sure any robust examination of better policies is very welcome. But I just want to please assure people, this isn't forever. This is the map in 1984 when Ronald Reagan won. That's the map. The only state the Democrats won was Minnesota. Yeah. Everyone thought that's the end of the Democrats. But 8 years later, there was a Democrat back in office. We don't know what's going to happen in 4 years at all. The only thing that is certain is this.
You all know me. I've never pushed for sex changes.